what's the fastest way to change how you think or feel in a moment? Choose your body. So I realised years ago, what if I did, in those moments, what if I did a silly little dance? I call it my victory dance. I only have one move, by the way, that's about it. And when I first came up with that idea, I started doing it all the time. I even started doing it at the end of a visualisation to celebrate the victory, to attach the memories and the ideas of what I'm imagining to a positive feeling. And it strengthens the effect because you're not attaching it to what if it doesn't work, you're attaching it to a positive feeling. I started to do it all the time. And at the time we were living in Windsor, and I used to watch victory dance every opportunity. And I would walk to my office, Starbucks. I write all of my books in coffee shops. I flip between Starbucks, Cafe Nero, Costa, whichever one feels at the right book for the right coffee shop for that book. I'm right at the time. At the time it was Starbucks, and it took me about 25 minutes to walk to my office, Starbucks. I'm walking along the street, and obviously I want to practice the victory dancing, but you can't walk along the street doing that. People would talk. So initially I did what I used to do with the pinging kindness, hands in my pockets, but once I saw the first driver slowing down as I was looked to them like I was, So I upgraded, and I had my laptop in a rucksack, and I put my hands in the straps of the rucksack and go like that. As if I was dancing. Then when I got a big burst of energy, I'd go, yeah! Like that. I'm keeping my badge on. It says I'm special. And anyway, but one time, it's coming close to Christmas time, and it was in Windsor. If you're familiar with Windsor at all, there's a big underpass. So there's a roundabout near the motorway, and there's two tunnels that are about 10 metres long. And usually, I'd arrive there about 10 to 7 in the morning, and I'd walked that road most mornings for 2 years. About 10 to 7 I'd get there. And I probably can count in one hand the number of times I'd seen someone. So it was a pretty good bet in this particular morning, or most mornings, I could launch into a victory dance when the tunnel, because no one's going to be there at 10 to 7. So I'd get to the start of the tunnel, I'd look around, of course there's no one there, and I'd burst into the dance. And then I'd turn around and I'd be You might notice moonwalking is not in my repertoire of skills. But no, I mean, I don't need to. I need to be good at moonwalking. And then I'd do the staying alive, Grease thing. You could see by the wind. And then I'd start doing star jumps and everything, and weird shit, spinning round. And there was one time I'd done like the best dance ever. And it was spinning round, jumping up so high, almost hitting my head off the ceiling. I got to the end of the second tunnel, and I finished by going like that. It was such a good dance, I could have been on Strictly. I could have been Strictly come dance. And I went like that. And that's when I looked ahead of me. And there's a row of builders watching me. And I'm absolutely mortified. You know those times of such embarrassment that your face instantly goes so red that you can literally melt a candle on the other side of the road. And you ever notice also in those moments of high embarrassment and stress that your brain stops working? You can't think. You know why that is actually, incidentally? It's because in those moments, your consciousness, your brain, your body, your nervous system wants to protect you. So you lose about 65% of the resources from your prefrontal cortex here. This is the higher order brain thinking. As your body moves into reflex reaction, 65% of the resources drain back to the emotional self-preservation fight or flight. That's why you can't think when you're stressed or when you're afraid. In those moments, most of the time, is it not true that you do the wrong thing? You screw up. So guess what I did? I'm standing like that. Brain stops working, totally embarrassed. I went, hello? And I'm now walking by all these builders, talking loudly to my fingers. But you also know it's true. Once you start something, you've got to keep up. Or then they'll know that you were just faking it. But you don't rationalise these if you just keep up. I remember remember watching the comedian Billy Connolly talk about something, like when you start something, you've got to keep up. And he was talking about back in it was the early 70s, I think, when escalators in shopping centres first became popular. And he was in a shopping centre in Glasgow, and he comes out the shopping centre, he's wearing his nice flowery shirt, feeling kind of trendy, big flary jeans. And he's got up the escalator, and he's feeling really confident. And he catches the eye of some ladies who are probably admiring his big flary jeans, and how cool he looks, and how confident he feels in his new attire. And he's getting to the top of the escalator, and he notices he's never been on an escalator before, and he notices that the stairs disappear under a gap. And he's looking down at his flares, and he's thinking, what if my flares get caught in that? Will I like get sucked in? I could die. And suddenly he's having a panic attack. But you cannot show that, because there's ladies looking at you. You've got to show how cool you are. So one part of you's doing that, and another part of your heart is beating at 250, and you're like that, and you're so caught in this dilemma. I can't show that, I'm afraid. And it's coming to a point at the top of the escalator, and you're so trying to maintain your cool that you actually trip. But it would be highly embarrassing to admit that you tripped because you were afraid of the escalator, especially when the young lady's looking at you. And it's less embarrassing if you then pretend that that's actually how you walk. It's the lesson of two evils. He's not walking through the shopping centre like that. But then what you do is you gradually phase it out. And by 20 metres later you're walking through the shopping centre, it's all cool, and you're checking the shop. That's kind of what I was doing. Because I was walking up past the builders having a very nice conversation with my finger. But I was gradually phasing it out. Because I was speaking quiet and quiet, and as I got to the end of the builders, I said, okay, thanks, and I put my fingers back in my pocket. But you know, testimony to the power of victory dancing. For the next fortnight, when I even thought of that, I went, oh my God, that did not happen. That absolutely did not. You know that when you do something so embarrassing, you can't even go there. Because you relive it, and the mortification is beyond. You're, oh my God, it did not happen. You know how I managed to get to the point I could talk publicly? Every time I thought the thought, and the resources are draining to the emotional centres, I did a silly little dance. It only took about a dozen dances, and I could talk publicly about it. So anyway, we're right out of time, and I know you want to go get a drink now. So I hope this has been useful for you today. I hope you've had a nice time at BAFTA. I've certainly enjoyed myself. You could probably tell. Thanks very much for listening. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and have a great day.
Can we all have a